welcome to the Working Moms Podcast.
Thank
you
you
for coming on. We are in your space. This is my first podcast not in our little studio at my office. So we're here at the Bunny Hive downtown in Chattanooga. You've been open for a month?
Yeah, just over a month.
Okay.
It's been such an amazing experience. We have so many wonderful members already and lots of regulars who are starting to get to know each other. So we're so thankful for the welcome that Chattanooga has given us.
Yeah. How has the first month been? How's the first month been?
Yeah, it's truly been wonderful. I think since this is my first time being a business owner, it's hard to know what to expect. And it hasn't truly been as much of a grind as I think I would have expected, mostly because the people that we get to meet and enjoy every day have been so lovely, and we have a fantastic staff. So I think we're off to a really great start.
That's awesome. And can you tell us how you got here? How did the Bunny Hive come to Chattanooga?
Yeah. So the Bunny Hive is a brand that was started in a suburb of Atlanta, and we're now headquartered in Richmond, Virginia.
Okay.
But I found the Bunny Hive when I was newly postpartum. I had my first child in 2019, and so when he was about 2 months old, a friend invited me to a Bunny Hive class, and it was around the holidays. And again, she and I were actually both new moms, and we were really looking to find other moms in our same phase of life and build up some community. And I think that was really a deeper meaning, but truthfully, we were just trying to figure out how to get out of the house with a newborn and feel like we had it all together. So she invited me to this class. It was carols and crafts, and so you brought your little one. And even though he was 2 months old and slept through the class, truthfully, I knew that the Bunny Hive was going to be a place where we could continue to come. We could enjoy classes that were developmentally appropriate for him, super engaging. But more than that, I knew that it would be wonderful for me to be able to meet other mom friends, just to be able to socialize for both of us, and build up our community and meet our neighbors, really. And so our journey has taken us from Atlanta to Chattanooga, where my husband's family is from. So we're closer to family now. And when I had my daughter in 22, I was on maternity leave and thinking this is a newer city to me. And what's missing is the Bunny Hive for me to be able to spend bonding time with her in a great environment, but also for me to meet other moms and make friends in Chattanooga.
Yeah.
So I look back really fondly on my time at the Bunny Hive, and I, did a deeper dive into their socials and found out that they were franchising.
Okay.
And I knew that I had to take a leap and bring this wonderful atmosphere to Chattanooga to provide that resource for families here to be able to meet other people, to do wonderful activities with their kids, provide a place for bonding time with their little ones, and again, just grow community.
Yeah, that's great. When I moved here in 2018, I felt a similar feeling. I think there's more happening now. But when I moved here, I didn't know anybody, and I had a baby, and it's really hard getting out of the house, and there weren't as many opportunities for take your child with you, other than like the library, which is where I met some friends. But it's nice. I guess, can you tell us a little bit about the different classes you offer?
Of course. So we offer regularly scheduled classes Monday through Saturday. We have classes at 9, 10, 11, and 12 in the mornings. And then on the weekdays, we have classes at 3:30 and 4:30 p.m. So we have music and art. Those two are both really popular. We also have a class that's called Culinary Exploration.
Cool.
So the little ones get their little apron and a chef's hat. And we explore kitchen skills, or we even explore new tastes that they might not have exposure to. Beyond that, we even have classes that are geared towards the child's milestones or development. For instance, we have a newborn class and pre-walker and toddler classes. So all of our classes are super engaging, and they're based in play-based learning. We have a curriculum that all of our classes follow, and I think that's been something that's really been special to see little ones start to know the structure of each of our classes and start to know what to expect and really gain their confidence and make this space their own and get really involved in our curriculum and our classes.
Okay. And you mentioned that you've never owned a business before. So I guess, how did you purchase the franchise or get into, I know, the Bunny Hive is close to your heart, but what did that process look like? Did you just wake up one day and you thought, hey, I'm going to buy this franchise? Or I guess, what did that look like?
Yeah. Well, the funny story is that I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit. I've known since the 9th grade that I've wanted to be a business owner.
Wow.
So I've always been looking for the concept that felt the most me, that I could really lean into and do for a very long time, while also serving a need and kind of being a unique concept. And so when I was on maternity leave with my daughter and feeling like the Bunny Hive was really missing from our lives, like I said, I was looking into the fact that they were franchising, and it just clicked. And I just knew that I had to take this leap of faith and that this would be everything that I've been hoping to start. And so I was talking to my husband, I was texting him, he's at work, I'm on maternity leave, and I'm thinking, well, actually, I was reverse a little bit.
Okay.
So he's at work and I am at work, but I'm so deep down this bunny hive rabbit hole.
Okay.
That, like I said, I instantly knew that this was going to be the right path for me. So I started filling out just a form to get more information, to see what this process would look like. And so I texted my husband, I said, I'm really having that entrepreneurial itch again. And he's like, okay, like, let's hear it this time. And I was like, no, I really think that this could be it. He's like, well, let's hear it. I was like, the Bunny Hive. And so we started talking about how my background in business operations through retail management, as well as my marketing background throughout my career, and then also diving into motherhood and all the care and intention that I put into that, all of that really adds up to what the Bunny Hive's all about.
Totally.
So I am telling him all this, and he says, okay, sure, like we can talk about that. And I said, yeah, we can. I have already submitted the form to get more information. So, just getting the ball rolling.
You're like, we bought a business.
Yeah. And of course, it doesn't happen that fast, but every step of the process, getting to know the franchise as a whole has been wonderful, and they're super supportive and very consistent. And so I feel very lucky from the system itself, but also my fellow studio owners. It's a wonderful community too.
Yeah.
So I just know that this is the right fit for me and my family.
And how many Bunny Hives are there across the country?
Yeah, there are about 25 now. Okay. And I feel like that's pretty stellar growth for such a young system. And I think we have a total of 30 that will become open here in the near future. So
okay.
That's
all on the East Coast?
Oh, we're spread out. It's great because we're as far west as California.
Oh, so stretch.
Yes.
Coast to coast.
And then up into like the New England states, up to New Jersey. We have lots in Florida, and then we have some in Texas too.
Fun.
And then we have sister studios here in Tennessee, in Nashville and Knoxville too.
Okay. So if you're members of one in Tennessee and you go to, California, can you go to that Bunny Hive with your membership? Cool. That's so cute.
Yeah, and it's great that is available to our members. But it's also really cool because all of our studios are sisters, not twins.
Right.
So there's a lot of charm and character that's based in each of the cities and based on the owners themselves that they infuse into each studio.
Okay, so a little bit different. One time this is just a really random story, I was getting my glasses fit and I was talking about my eyebrows and he was like, honey, your eyebrows are sisters, not twins.
Yeah.
I just love that. Okay, so do they have like a Bunny Hive conference every year that you go to, or do you all meet up? Is it more you meet virtually and kind of support each other?
Yeah.
Are they all women owned? I know that was
They
a lot of
are.
questions. But.
They are all women owned.
Okay.
Each of our
That's so
studio
cool.
owners currently are all moms,
Okay.
so that's a great, unique facet too. And then we meet up once a year. We have a retreat where we do sort of some roundtables, and we talk about best practices and really support each other. We kind of compare notes, and so that's wonderful. And then throughout each phase that each studio is in, we'll meet monthly, if we're newly opened or pre-opening,
Okay.
or we've been open for a while, so we can get some really impactful time together to discuss.
Okay. And then what would you say the core values of the Bunny Hive are?
Yeah, it's beauty, warmth, and connection.
Cute.
And so
Sweet.
that was really infused into the design of the studio.
Okay.
Our studio is very aesthetically pleasing.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful, and it's really designed to be a place that is very welcoming and a place where grown-ups would really enjoy to spend their time.
Yeah.
And then we build connection, especially within the main area of our studio, which is called the Hive.
Okay.
So we mix and mingle and just chat in there. So we hope that our members will start to meet others and make friends. And then just warmth. This is an area where we're just glad that you came. There's
Yeah.
no pretenses. We just want you to show up and have some wonderful time with your little one. So we try to think about beauty, warmth, and connection in everything we do.
Okay. And then what would you say makes this location, Chattanooga, just a little bit different than the other studios? Do you have any touches you put on it?
Yes, our beautiful wallpaper that I'm obsessed with. But yeah, like I said, all of the studios are a little different from each other. And as a brand, we do have some guidelines to really build in some consistency. But I have added a couple touches here and there. But overall, I think this studio is really starting to kind of come into its own because of the wonderful people that we've been welcoming into our doors.
Yeah.
Our Hive, like I said, has been such a great place where a lot of meaningful conversations have happened. We've seen little ones. We hear our members say that my little one's gotten so much more brave since coming here.
Aww.
And, kind of stepping out of their shell. Or we've seen little ones start to crawl here. And so that meaning and just everything that we're starting to experience for the first time and our members are experiencing for the first time are truly making this place really special.
Yeah, you'll get to watch the kids grow up and the
Yeah.
moms build relationships because it's hard making mom friends.
It is.
Yeah, we just moved to a different city, still around, but my kids switched schools and we had been at the same school for 4 years. So we had a ton of community there and friends that we had made, and my kids had made friends. And so we're having to, my daughters are at different schools, so they're making friends. And then I've noticed like they're being so brave about it. And then it's hard stepping out of your comfort zone at any age. But then I'm like, okay, if they can break out of their comfort zone and talk to some people and make friends when they don't know anybody in this environment, I can do the same. Because there's moms at, the schools, and they all basically know each other already. And so it's intimidating to walk into that and, have to be the new girl, so to speak.
Yeah.
And so it's nice to have a space, especially when it's your first one, to take your kid and get out of the house and then just meet other moms who are in similar stages.
Yeah.
It's hard to find that.
Yeah. And even just getting out of the house as a new parent, it can be intimidating. And then you think like, where am I going to go? That there might be a chance like I could see someone I feel like I could have a friendship with.
Yeah.
And, if it's a coffee shop, that's not built to, have little kids running around.
Yeah.
But in here, even though we do have some wonderful regular members, everyone's so welcoming to anyone new experiencing the Bunny Hive for the first time. So, it's just been really open arms, and it's in an environment where it's made for the child to be able to run around and play safely. And so mom's not worried about being so distracted of, don't touch that, don't do this. They have a lot of freedom. Everyone really relaxes and kind of exhales. And so that's a great feeling. And then to take it a step further, in each class, we ask some intentional icebreaker questions so you
Okay.
can find commonality and make it just easier to meet other people instead of, I think we've all had that experience where we strike up a conversation with a fellow mom at a coffee shop, and then it's like, okay, well, did that go well? Or like, where do we go from here?
See you later.
So, yeah. So, you can start to feel like, oh, maybe I'll see them again at the next class or whatever the case may be, and really start to see some familiar faces.
Yeah. Take a little less overwhelming, hopefully.
Mhm.
So why don't you tell me about your family?
Yeah.
You talked about your son, daughter, and your husband a little bit. Can you tell me about them?
Yeah. So my husband is born and raised here in Chattanooga.
Okay.
And so we have our son, Bennett, who is about to turn 6,
Okay.
and our daughter, Bowen, who is 3.
Bowen, I like that.
Yeah, and then we have a great support network here. Both my parents and my in-laws have been super supportive throughout this whole journey. And then it's really nice to have extended family here in Chattanooga. Our kids
Totally.
get to grow up with their cousins, and we see a lot of family, so that's been fantastic. And then I made a joke the other day. My daughter got to come to an event with me here, and it was super special. And I just got to think, this is so amazing that I've been able to build a business where my kids can be involved and they really get it. And then the event ended, and she was out in the middle of the studio, like with a vacuum. I'm like, this is the second best part of having a family business because they really get involved and they're excited to clean. Like, this is incredible. But
like you keep that
yeah,
excitement for cleaning.
yeah, exactly. But they both kind of think of it as like my bunny hive, and they're super encouraging, and they've been along through a lot of the process.
Totally.
Starting a business can be scary and stressful and exhilarating, and it's not all just like the dreaming of how great it's going to be. It's hard work and long hours, and like I said, like, can be anxiety inducing.
Totally.
But something you said earlier kind of reminded me of what we kind of went through our startup. I felt scared at times or overwhelmed, and my kids could kind of sense that. And so to be able to talk to them about, you can do hard things, and for me to remember that and to remind myself truthfully. And so being able to walk with them through this whole process and show them how I manage my fears and also my excitement, and remind them to be brave, and they remind me. And yeah, I think we are in a wonderful place, but I'm so grateful that my kids are starting to like learn some lessons through mom and see mom work really hard to
Totally.
chase her dreams.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah.
And they're going to appreciate it. I mean, I'm sure they already kind of do, but when they get older and look back, they'll really appreciate it.
Yeah,
So
I hope so.
that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of my next question was, what's one lesson that you hope your kids take away from you starting this business?
Yeah, I think it really stands out to me to really chase your dream. It can sound kind of hokey, but I think as we're all kind of trying to figure out our place in this world and what makes us happy, and making a difference, really, I think that this is the thing for me that I most align with, to be able to achieve those goals.
Yeah.
And to not be afraid to go after big, scary dreams. Like, just going through each step. You don't have to see the whole picture in every detail. You don't have to have everything figured out, but leaning into support networks and leaning into the resources and truthfully the community around you.
Yeah.
I've found that there's been so much support here that it has made things feel more attainable and less scary. And so another point that I hope my kids take away is, you don't have to do anything alone.
Yeah.
It just makes everything so much more manageable to talk things out or lead on someone who is in your corner. Makes a big difference.
Totally. Yeah. I've learned in business, just community and the network and people that you surround yourself with kind of rub off on you, and entrepreneurs have a similar mindset because they're going through a lot of the same things. And when you're around people who are moms and small business owners, kind of like your Hive group, it's very helpful because they get it. They get that specific lifestyle. And so, yeah, community and networking has been huge.
Yeah.
Because it's like now I'm going to be 4 years into owning my brokerage. And I'm starting to see like the full circle moments come back where it's been like years of building these relationships, which is awesome. But it takes time and it takes consistency and like showing up every single day and doing the same motions every single day. And it can be a little bit boring and like it's definitely hard, but it just can be a little bit dull because you feel like you're not making any progress. But then finally you step back and you're like, oh, you have these full circle moments that are really rewarding.
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually just having a conversation today in that same vein. The boring stuff is really what moves the needle over time.
Totally.
Being consistent with those boring things, or even if you're not seeing results on things like social media or email marketing right away, none of that is a magic wand, but staying consistent with your actions that are going to accumulate and pay off. I can see like making progress a little bit more every day, but like you were saying, I really look forward to those full circle moments where it all comes together and is all working in sync and making a difference in my business.
Yeah. And you said the community has been really welcoming and inviting to the Bunny Hive.
Yeah, with two facets really, with the families, but also with small business.
Okay.
I hear a lot from our families like, oh, Chattanooga needed this, or I needed this, or, this is so great for me, or, my little one has really been kind of blossoming in this environment. And then just to see the friendships start to take hold here has been incredible. And not to overplay the word community, but I think it is talked about so much here in Chattanooga because it is so rich and it's so wonderful here. I think the small business community here has been incredibly welcoming and supportive, even if it's just engaging with each other on social media and being supportive through their words, just cheering for you, has been fantastic. And we've already established some incredible partnerships around town with like-minded groups. And that's just what I love about Chattanooga and why I felt like it was a really safe place to start a business.
Sure.
Because the small business networking community here really champions for each other and every member of this community. And I've already seen that, and I'm really proud to be a member of this community and excited to cheer on other small businesses here.
Yeah, that's great. Chattanooga is great for small businesses. They really are. Okay, has there been any moments since you've opened that you were like, this is why I did this? Have you had those moments yet?
Yeah, we've seen a few moments after class where some parents, stay after class and their children play and they talk about maybe things that they're navigating in their life and sharing resources or tips and tricks or their past experiences. That is truly what the Bunny Hive is all about. And even just the other day, we had a class and we saw two parents leaving at the same time. And I could tell that they were talking about like their future plans or what do you do? And
cute.
So I'm like, they're really starting to be friends. Like that is so amazing.
Yeah.
So, early parenthood can feel really isolating. It can be hard to be sure of where you're going to take your child because it's a lot just to get out of the door. And then you wonder, like, is this going to be the right place for me when I get there? So to be able to take those anxieties out of the equation and really provide a safe and wonderful place for families to come and connect is really meaningful to me.
Yeah, and things to do too, not just like a coffee shop or a park, which are great also.
Yeah.
But it kind of is more of a controlled space and the kids have something to entertain themselves.
Yeah. And really quality things to entertain themselves too. Like I said, we have a curriculum that is really enriching for little ones and developmentally appropriate. So they're getting a good and quality experience too.
Yeah. How does membership work? Is it like a month-long membership? Is it a year? I guess, how does it work?
Yeah. So we do have a few options. We have an unlimited membership, which is monthly.
Okay.
And then we also have some different tiers of memberships in an effort to really match, family schedules. Sometimes parents stay home or both parents are out working. So we really recognize that, and we want to be the right fit for everyone.
Okay.
So we have an unlimited membership, and then we also have two varying class packs. We have an 8 classes per month and a 4 classes per month.
Okay.
And we also would like to welcome everyone to enjoy their first class free. We have that promotion going
That's awesome.
on. We just really want to be able to spread the word, and I think you really start to get the Bunny Hive once you enter the doors. And so
Yeah.
we want to just welcome everyone. We're going to do a first class free and have people check us out.
Well, yay.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, I didn't know what to expect before. I have driven by. It's on a great location. It's on
Thanks.
Cherokee
Yes.
downtown. But when I walked in, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful space.
Thank you.
It's very like, my kids went to a Montessori school.
Yeah.
So it kind of looks Montessori
We do
based.
have a lot of Montessori leanings for sure, play-based learning, and a lot of natural elements and aesthetically pleasing elements. So it's a calm place where kids can have a lot of fun.
Okay. And then you said that you guys also do birthday parties?
We do.
Okay.
So we love to host birthday parties. When we host a party here, we will offer the whole studio to the renter or the celebration. We have it for 3 hours, and a staff member's on hand to be helpful and assist and make your party extra special.
Okay.
We actually just had a birthday party the other weekend, and it was so much fun. We had beautiful balloons and decorations, and every detail was so wonderful. The kids were having a blast on our soft open play items, and we did a cute craft for the birthday boy. Everyone made little cards with a Polaroid. So it was just really special, and I could tell everyone had a really great time. But the space is really versatile too. From all of the beauty in this space, it's really a blank space or a blank slate.
Okay.
And so we welcome networking events. We have some anniversary parties being celebrated here.
Ooh.
We even have had a sign up for a sip and see.
Okay.
So instead of having lots of friends and extended family come to your house to do a sip and see with your baby, this member is choosing to do it here in our space.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
So a sip and see, you bring people.
Yeah, snack sips and sweets, and then the new baby will be here with mom, and so all the extended friends and family will get to meet the new little one.
I've never heard of that. It's so cute.
So there's a lot that we can do here. Like I said, this studio is a blank slate, and you can dress it
their first
up.
kid?
Yeah,
I'm
I think
thinking,
it
like,
is.
I don't know if I do that for my third kid.
Yeah.
Sounds like a first kid.
But
thing.
instead of having to clean up your house before and
especially
after
with a newborn.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I thought that was very genius that she thought to do that, and we're honored.
Yeah. And if they have other kids coming, then they have something to do when
Absolutely.
they're here. So have you run into any hurdles since opening the studio?
Yeah, that's a great
Or getting
question.
it open, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. I think when I first discovered the Bunny Hive, it was a very new concept overall, and there weren't as many play spaces or play cafes.
Okay.
And now we're seeing really a surge of this concept, which I think is great because it's meeting a need, and I think that there's a lot of ways that we fit into this industry as a whole, but also we're differentiated.
For sure.
So one hurdle has been, aside from just building brand awareness here, has been educating on what the Bunny Hive is and what it is not. So we're not an open play studio, and that really speaks to the intentionality that we incorporate into everything that we do. Each of our classes will have a curriculum tied to it. We do have an exploratory play class, which is about as close as we get to an open play concept. But again, it's not toys everywhere, free for all. It's really very much more intentional and just a few things that are geared toward sensory and play-based learning and things like that.
Sure.
So that's been a big thing for us. Yeah.
Has anybody tried to drop their kid and go?
Yeah, that's another thing. We are not a drop-off service. We have had a couple of questions about that. But yeah, that too is about the connection building. We don't want our grown-ups to drop their kids in here and then they sneak off and like try to get some emails done real quick. We really want our families to carve out some time just for them.
Yeah.
And our classes are 30 minutes too. So it's a very approachable
Okay.
amount of time in your
Totally.
day. And believe it or not, 30 minutes is like incredible for little ones, attention spans.
Yeah.
We keep our classes moving at a really nice pace. So it's not overwhelming or overstimulating, but it matches their attention span.
Yeah.
But we really want the parents to be right alongside the little ones and helping them explore, crafts or fine motor skills or movement and cognitive skills.
Yeah.
So that is a great point. We're not a drop off. We're not distancing the little ones from their grown-ups. Everyone's here together and bonding.
Okay. And then as far as signups go, do people sign up for the class ahead of time, or can they show up and just, if they're a member, can they just show up and go to any class?
So we do have some plans that are unlimited for members, but in terms of signups, we do prepare intentionally for each class. So you can book as late as 30 minutes before the class.
Okay.
And we really encourage folks to plan their weeks with us. We release our schedule. We provide details on what's coming up this week in art or in culinary or special things ahead. And we really hope that folks will plan their week with us. We do keep the class sizes to 10 families.
Okay. That's a good size.
Yeah, it really is. And we have lots of space, so everyone has plenty of room, but we want to keep it very manageable and an appropriate class size. And we also do that because siblings are welcome in each class.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
So I think that's something that sets us apart from other play spaces in our industry, that our membership covers not only all of the siblings, instead of saying, oh, it's an additional X amount of dollars for another sibling. Everyone's included, including our grown-ups. So whoever the caregiver is. So that's mom, dad, babysitter, or nanny, or grandparent.
Oh, that's great.
So everyone's included under that membership.
Yeah. And then what's one lesson you hope, or one thing you hope that your members take away from the Bunny Hive?
Yeah, that's a great question. It kind of goes back to, like, you don't have to do it alone. I have had the honor of having some members really confide in me or other members about some tricky things that they're navigating. And that's part of what makes new parenthood feel so isolating is, truthfully, you can be kind of confused or overwhelmed. And so just to have so many resources here, and to have a safe place to be able to open up and talk about that. I don't want anyone to feel isolated. And COVID, truthfully, is part of our story.
Absolutely.
And, while I don't love that it's a part of our story, I do think that's part of the world that we're in now, and really shifted a lot of the culture into sometimes leaning into isolation.
Mm-hmm.
So I really hope that we're an environment and a community that helps break that and helps bring people together.
Yeah. COVID really messed everything up. And everything was closed, and you have a COVID baby.
I do. Yeah.
And then I have a COVID baby, and all the COVID babies are starting to start kindergarten or soon. And it really did throw people and made you just kind of want to stay home and stay in your bubble. And it's not great when you're battling the trials and tribulations of motherhood all by yourself, and you're like, is this normal? I don't know.
Yeah, because what was normal at the time?
Right, exactly. Okay, and then where do you see the Bunny Hive in 2 to 5 years?
Yeah. Well, so as a brand in total, I can really see us expanding a lot, and we have a lot of room to grow. I think it's such a needed concept and such a welcoming space, and such a welcome brand to our families that I could see it really expanding as a whole. For me and our Bunny Hive here in Chattanooga, I would really love to put a few more studios within different neighborhoods here in Chattanooga.
Okay.
We have some fantastic members who travel from Ottawa and East Brainerd and Signal Mountain. And
it's a hike.
Yeah, I love them for that. And I think that really speaks to, they find a lot of special aspects of our studio. So I'd love to have a few more studios very thoughtfully placed around Chattanooga so that in many neighborhoods here, we can start to build those communities and folks can really meet their own neighbors.
Yeah.
You know? I think that would be an incredible goal, and of course, we'll be really thoughtful about that. And, you know, in 3 to 5 years, on a personal note, it's kind of amazing for me to think about these little ones that we see in our newborn classes or some who are just starting to crawl here. You know, I'd love to see them in 5 years, like going off to kindergarten. You know, that'll be, I feel like I
That's
have
a full
nieces.
circle moment.
Yeah. I feel like I have little nieces and nephews all over town, which is like
Sweet.
kind of special.
If you run into members, have you run into members yet?
Yeah, that'd
Not
be
yet?
amazing.
Okay. It's fun. So is your husband involved in business or just support network?
Yeah, he has been so supportive. You know, like I said, from the very beginning, he has known that I have always wanted to have my own business, and this is really meaningful and great for our family. You know, really has been incredible for him to be able to come along and support me and be a fantastic cheerleader through the build out process and all of the logistics and planning it, and same with our kids. So not officially, you know, part of the business, but the support network is key. You know, just having a partner that you can talk to about what's going on in the business, and you know, he'll understand. And it's almost kind of nice that he's not in like the day to day because he has a fresh perspective on it.
Totally.
So yeah, not in any official capacity. He does work for a local company here in Chattanooga. So we're grateful to have so many ties to local businesses here. But you never know. You know, like I said, he gives great advice. He's not a yes man. You know, he asks great questions. And you really need someone on your team who'll do that for you.
Yeah, that's great. What advice would you give to somebody in your shoes wanting to start a business or purchase a franchise?
Yeah. I would say do your research and then do more research.
Okay.
You know, in the vein of buying into a franchise, it is true that it's probably a great product. For me, I can certainly say that's the case. And this is not the first franchise that I've actually looked into, so not speaking directly about this, but you know, you are being sold to, and you want to confirm for yourself that this is going to be a great business for you, and it's going to make all your entrepreneurial dreams come true.
Yeah.
And that might be true, but there's so much behind the scenes, you know, like how much work will it demand of you, and like physical work or hours or you know, even all of the costs, they can continue to add up and be a little bit surprising. Or, you know, as the franchise continues to develop and evolve, that's something that's not in the franchise disclosure agreement. You know, there's always more to it. So instead of being satisfied with the response of like, yeah, this is a great franchise and you're great and we're going to be great together, and you know, just continuing to do research and lean into the franchise owners, the franchisees. I have found that they're typically open books. They're really supportive.
That's good.
The sister studio owners that are in my community have been super encouraging and very supportive, and you know, are really fantastic about coming alongside you and talking about what you're going through or try this approach. So, and that's with any business. I think it can be easy to get rose-colored glasses, and I've had those since I was in high school. So I speak from experience. But you know, once you set your mind to it, I think just dive in. You know, do your research and then dive in, and just really commit your whole self to it, and always try to believe that at the end of the day, the positives are there and they always outweigh the negatives. It's going to be hard, but it's going to be worth it.
Totally.
And again, you don't have to do it alone. Just really open yourself up to having conversations. You never know what someone else's experience is going to have a positive impact or, even their perspective is going to have a positive impact, and then you adapt and you just go do the next right thing. But I can say for me, it is so worth it. I've met so many incredible people, and just wonderful champions for my business and small business in general. So really build up your network, and really lean into those conversations.
Okay. Solid advice.
Yeah.
Do you follow Cody Sanchez?
I don't.
Oh, okay. She's like the know-all queen of franchise ownership. So she like wrote a book about it. And Diana, my friend who owns Pink's, she follows her, and I think she went to one of her conferences. But yeah, she's like a big, I don't know the right word, but a big like promoter of people purchasing franchises, I guess. Yeah, she's one you should look into her. She's got like great content. She's a podcast.
Yeah.
So
one thing I would love to add though about buying into a franchise, it's been so rewarding because not only do I have lots of folks that I can lean on who know my business, the conversations are really meaningful, but there's been so much support. You know, I almost like sympathize for people who start a business from scratch. I totally understand the desire to start a completely unique concept on your own and really stand out in any market. And I cheer for those people. And I have just felt like, you know, I don't have to do it alone. Like there's so many questions and so many things to figure out.
yeah.
So a franchise provides so many resources and week-to-week support. If I had to do it over again, I definitely would.
Okay. Yeah. There's definitely pros and cons to both. Like you said, it's certainly less lonely than starting a business from scratch. But I think part of that goes into like the community and networking and the small business network here too. Because those are your people that you lean on, even if they're not in the same field. So yeah, definitely pros and cons, but I could see that because you get marketing materials, I'm sure, and then you have people who have shown that this business structure works and that it's scalable and that, you know, here are the numbers and they can show you that. Whereas when you're starting a business from scratch, you're like, we're going to make it work.
Yeah. And our co-founders, Brittany and Katie, you know, they're a very dynamic team. They have lots of business acumen, but also early childhood development acumen. So they blend that together. Well, I only have one side of that equation, right? So for the Bunny Hive to provide such quality curriculum, I would have done a disservice to my members had I tried to start this concept with just my business acumen.
Sure.
So that's another just important piece for, and really a pro to purchasing into a franchise.
Yeah.
Just the thought partnership and the quality resources that are behind it.
Yeah. So it didn't start as a franchise then, I'm assuming.
Right. Yeah. It just
started
as a small business in Chamblee, Georgia.
Okay. I've never heard of Chamblee.
Yeah.
Chamblee?
Chamblee, yeah.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it's right outside of Atlanta.
Did it just expand from there and they opened more studios, or did they franchise it after they just had the one? Do you know?
So they had the original location, which is still the Bunny Hive Atlanta, so it's still there. And I believe that they opened a second flagship studio in Richmond, Virginia.
Okay.
So that's where one of our co-founders is from originally. And just to see that this concept could be taken to just about any market and thrive inspired them to franchise. And so I think they have a lot of plans for seeing this franchise blossom in any market.
Cool. All right. So will you tell us where we can find you? Where's the studio physically located?
Yeah.
And then where can we find you on the World Wide Web?
Yeah. So we are in North Shore, Chattanooga, and you can find us at 20 Cherokee Boulevard in Suite 114. And we hope you'll check us out on social media. We are on Instagram at the Bunny Hive Chat, as well as Facebook. And you can check us out on our website at thebunnyhive.com/Chattanooga.
Okay. That's great.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks. It was so fun.
First podcast in another location. Beautiful location. So check it out.